ready to go. If the beat hits, I'm ready to go.
Welcome to Varsity 4, your home for high school sports. I'm Alessandra Pontbriand. He, of course, is Justin Barney. And for the entire school year, we will be bringing you the latest high school sports news each Thursday night from 10:45 to 11 p.m. right here on News4JAX. Now, the first week of the high school football season is complete. We're less than 24 hours away from week 2. So, Justin, which teams impressed you the most after the season opener?
A few teams. I think Ed White, to me, really impressed. 45-28 win over Trinity Christian in a battle of Super 10 teams. They looked really good. 45-28, and they scored a lot of those in the second half. They actually trailed at halftime in that game, so a really good start for Lawrence Johnson and the Commanders. And also Nice, Colin Drafts and company. I had some questions on their offense. They graduated so much talent, but they came out and absolutely thumped Ponte Vedra, a game that was 38-28, but wasn't nearly that close. The ground game, the passing game, the defense all looked really good in week 1. It's a performance you probably expect to see later on in the season, like a veteran team. Nice looked really good.
Okay, we'll talk more about that just coming up. But last week, we debuted new Varsity 4 programming. Friday night looks a bit different, starting with our Game of the Week. Now, I will be at our Game of the Week each Friday night for a pregame show that will start at 6:45 here on News4JAX, conclude at 7 p.m. Now, this Friday, I'm heading to the north side of Ribault, hosting Jackson.
It'll be a good game.
Yeah.
It'll be a good game. And the thing with this new facility at Ribault, brand new school, and field is redone, the school premises is redone. That's what we wanted to be there for that game, because it's not too often that you get to kind of break in and usher in a new school. Regular season home opener for the Ribault Trojans, and Jackson coming off a big win last week too, so I think we have a good gateway game on Friday night at the Dungeon.
And I was at Ribault. The field, the school just looks absolutely phenomenal. Well, once I'm done with the Varsity 4 pregame show at 7 p.m., keep watching on News4JAX Plus for Friday Night Lights. We are partnering with 1010XL for a high school football stream. Now, Justin and 1010XL's Ryan Hacker Green will be live from 7 to 9, breaking down the area's games that night. They also will be dipping into the Game of the Week stream. 2 hours of the latest updates from high school football across our area. Now, you will find our sports team all over Northeast Florida and Southeast Georgia, filming games each Friday night for our Varsity 4 football show. Catch highlights from our Game of the Week, as well as many more games in our area at 10:30 p.m. And Justin will also join Jamal St. Cyr for a look at how the Super 10 teams competed that night. And speaking of Justin, all season you will be revealing your Super 10 each Tuesday night at 10 p.m. here on News4JAX. After the first week, you had 3 new teams join the Super 10 rankings. So take us through the highlights.
Yeah, really, the front part of our Super 10 really stayed unchanged. I think 1 through 6 all stayed the same where they were at. But man, we had a lot of shakeups after that. We had Ed White moving up, Nice moving in, and of course, a couple other teams moving in. University Christian, I thought they had one of the best wins of week 1, 47-14 over a Newberry team that was one of the state's best last year. UC just ran right through them. And of course, Lake City, Columbia as well. They're right out there and right off the highway in Lake City. And I love going to games out there. There's something about the Friday night in Columbia County, and they had a big win, 42-6 over Suwannee, to retain the old Oaken Bucket in that rivalry. So those 3 new teams, and I think we may see even a new team in next week's rankings as well.
What's that? What? The old what?
The old Oaken Bucket. You know, week 1 is filled with rivalry games. Palaca, St. Aug, it's so many good games. Clay, Fleming Island, but Suwannee and Columbia, again, a little bit out of our core coverage area, but man, that rivalry stretches back. They first played in like the late 20s, early 30s, so that one goes way back.
I like that name. The old what?
Old Oaken Bucket.
Oaken?
Oaken Bucket. The old Oaken Bucket. It's an old bucket. Just say, bucket. We don't have buckets around here like they're referring to.
Okay, I'm fascinated by that. Okay, but stay tuned when we come back. They say it was a heartbreaking watching every other team begin the season last week. Now the Raines Vikings are ready to rumble into week 2. That story next when Varsity 4 returns. Well, as we roll into week 2 of the high school football season, there is still one team waiting to make their season debut. The Raines Vikings had their opening game against Miami Central canceled, forcing a delay of their 2025 campaign. News4JAX reporter Chris Will is catching up with the team as they prepare for the long-awaited return to the graveyard.
High school football is back. An exciting week 1 with plenty of action across our area, but Raines feels a little left out.
Man, Friday, not a good feeling at all. Man, I was kind of hurt, I ain't gonna lie.
With the first week matchup falling through for the Vikings, last year's state runner-up took on the role of spectator, a change of pace for senior Sharif Jackson and the team as they gear up for a deep run.
It hurt my soul to, like, see people out there playing. Cause I love watching football, but it's like I love to play football. So watch people make plays that I know I can make. You know, it's heartbreaking.
But they don't have to wait much longer. Raines will start their regular season in week 2 against Sandalwood, and the early bye has them motivated for this week of practice.
You know, we tend to tell our guys that, you know, we want to win Monday through Thursday. You know, ultimately working hard and practicing hard throughout the week and preparing like a champion. Feel like we can win throughout the week, and then Friday is fun day. Fun football Friday.
And this Football Friday will be under the lights at the Graveyard, a chance to perform in front of the home crowd.
Each day, you know, we're pushing it 100 miles per hour.
The energy we finna have coming to this game is just finna be out of this world.
Everybody come together as a team, play together, you know, come as one. That's gonna show Friday.
And after coming just short of a state title last year, this class has the bar set pretty high.
Been through so much trials and tribulations, and at the end, I want everybody to say this is the best team to come to Raines. So every day we're going to keep stacking and stacking and stacking until that goal is accomplished.
And that goal kicks off on Friday at 6:30. Chris Will, Channel 4, the local station.
Love that. I love that storyline right there. Sharif Jackson, one of the guys Chris talked to, I think is one of the best defensive backs in town. He was third team all-area for me last season when he was at Mandarin, transferred back to Raines. He's got 9 picks in his last 2 seasons. He's glad to be back at Raines, and I know Raines is glad to have Sharif back there.
9 picks in 2 seasons?
9 picks. He's good. He's good.
Dang, okay. Well, tune in each week here on Varsity 4 for a behind-the-scenes look of what makes this Vikings team roll. Chris Will is bringing you an in-depth look all season long. Okay, Justin, the Varsity 4 vibe check tonight, a little bittersweet. Now, this spring, thieves stole helmets, jerseys, and cleats from Terry Parker High School's football team. Now, with football season back, the Jaguars stepped in to make sure the Braves have the gear they need to play under the Friday night lights.
There's nothing quite like high school football on a Friday night. The blare of the band, the shine of the helmets under the lights. The memories last a lifetime. But in April, someone tried to dim that glow at Terry Parker High School. Thieves broke into Parker's field house. Just as spring practice was set to begin, they stole helmets, cleats, even footballs and headsets. For a moment, the Braves' season was left in the shadows.
Yeah, I was mad. I was at a dark place, like I wanted to do something. I wanted to find out who did it.
But the community answered the call.
It was a whole community outcry out of something bad. Something good is going to happen.
That something good came in a Jaguar-shaped package as the Jags Youth Foundation stepped in to help replace what was lost.
I'm not just wearing the hat. I'm a Jag fan, man.
The Jags backed the truck up and unloaded helmets and Gatorade to help make sure the Braves players have just what they need to chase some wins this football season. And that's Positively Jags.
I just love that story right there because that's a personal story for me. I grew up in Arlington. I went to Parker for a couple years in high school. It's to see what head coach Mike Holloway has done. He was there with Sharon Dorsey. Sharon Dorsey passed away. Mike has taken that over and done a remarkable job. And to see what they were facing and the challenges that any school faces, especially a Parker team, going into spring practice, you have all your equipment stolen. Just a remarkable job. The people over there are doing a great job with the kids and just awesome story, heart-inspiring story. See the Jags step in and make sure they don't go without.
Yeah, that was absolutely awesome. Of course, that was Joao Saints here with that great story for Positively Jags. And finally, a Throwback Thursday that St. Augustine High School fans will love. Do you remember how the Yellow Jackets ended the 2005 football season? Well, let us refresh your memory, Justin.
Yeah, this is a team I know extremely well. I worked in St. Augustine for 11 or 12 years, and I got to cover this team up close and personal. One of the best teams I have ever seen with my own eyes. St. Augustine went 15-0 and won the state championship that season. Absolutely crushed Sarasota Booker in that championship game. It was just an unbelievable season to put into words. I think when I wrote the story from that game, I think I started with storybook because that's what that season felt like. Brandon James, now the offensive coordinator at St. Augustine. He was a running back on that team. So many guys who have played on that team come back to the area to help out and coach or be teachers, and just really cool to see that. It's 20-year anniversary of one of the most special teams in St. Johns County history. Not just St. Johns County history, but our area's football history.
I think Brandon James still has that same energy now to this day.
He sure does. He sure does. And Joey Wiles, the head coach on that iconic team. Brian Braddock, current St. Augustine coach, was an assistant on that team. And so many of these guys, I'm watching the highlights now, that you still run into. The quarterback is now the athletic director at St. Augustine High School, Quinterrence Cooper. And just so many good storylines. Cool to see what those guys have gone and done with their lives as well after that game.
That's absolutely awesome. Okay, well, as we wrap up, you can watch Varsity 4 every Thursday night during the school year from 10:45 to 11 p.m. here on News for Jax. We will be bringing you the latest high school sports news each week. And make sure you follow us on Sports for Jax on Instagram to get even more sports news. But thank you for watching Varsity 4, and good night.